Hey guys, what is going on? Troy here at Mountain Man Treasure, and I kind of like the car chat thing. I'm sitting here, I might as well chat with you.
Mountain Man Treasures.
Once again, taking some mail to the post office, so we'll chat as I drive there, and maybe then sit in the parking lot, or as I drive back, or I don't know, whatever. But today we want to talk about eBay and something that I see a lot of people saying, hey, yeah, they're finally doing something good for sellers. I think you're wrong. So welcome into the channel, guys. My name is Troy. I'm a reseller in Montana. I go to garage sales, I go to estate sales, I go to thrift stores. Sometimes I go to Walmart and buy stuff. Regardless, I buy it and then I sell it for a profit. Primarily, I'm doing that on eBay and out of a booth that I have, or I have two spots actually now in a vintage mall here in town. Recently, at the eBay Open, eBay put out a thing saying that they're going to make a change to how positive feedback is left, or I guess right now they're saying it's not being left, and so we're going to try and change that for you. Now, I'll put it up here, but what they're basically saying is if you ship an item on time with tracking and it arrives on time, the customer doesn't report any issues, and the customer doesn't leave a feedback, those are the boxes you have to check, eBay is going to leave an automated feedback, an automated positive feedback for you. And a lot of people are saying, hey, that's fantastic news, finally they're taking care of the sellers, we think this is good, yada yada. Well, I guess I fall on the other side of that. I understand the sentiment, both on eBay's part and the people saying, hey, this is good. But I think ultimately it's not a great thing. And there are a couple reasons why I think that. I think it's certainly not unknown that people don't leave feedback, right? Like you're looking at, what, like a third of your people leaving feedback maybe? Something like that, if you're doing a good job. And you know what? I understand for a newer seller, that's tough, right? You want to build that positive feedback, and when people aren't leaving it, it's frustrating. I get that. But the issue here is that right now, I think because people don't leave feedback like that, or they're much more liable to leave neutral or negative feedback, frankly. I think that means that the feedback is valuable, right? Like if you have to go right now essentially above and beyond to convince a whole lot of people to leave that feedback, you have to prove to them it was good enough to where they're like, man, I should tell everybody this was really good. That's a good thing. That means that the feedback that you have is very valuable, okay? Well, what happens now when the market is flooded with positive feedback? It's a basic economics question. When something is rare and you have it, it's valuable. When everybody gets it, it's an Oprah situation. It doesn't really mean anything anymore. Essentially, they've made positive feedback. Like, I know a lot of people don't look at it anyway, right? I tend to look at it if I'm buying something, especially something expensive on eBay, or something that I need right away, right? Whatever. I tend to look at feedback, and if they have below 97%, certainly like a 95%, I'll take a look and I'll see what's going on, and I may well move to another seller that has that item because I want to be able to trust the person. Okay, well, so now what happens when somebody gets those valid negative feedbacks? I know some of the feedback isn't valid, and we can talk about that because I think that's going to be an issue as well. They're making changes to that as a result. I know we get feedback that we don't necessarily agree with or we think is valid, but there's plenty of valid negative feedbacks in there. Well, guess what? Now when somebody gets one of those and they meet the bare minimum, right? They ship it on time and it gets there. That's the job, right? We shouldn't be getting a gold star for doing our job. It's going to bury it, right? Like those negative feedbacks are going to be buried. So especially, I'm having a hard time putting English words together today. Especially if we're talking about maybe a foreign company that doesn't have great practices right now and maybe has a 92% positive feedback, because there's a fair bit of negativity in their feedback pile. Well, guess what? If they're doing volume, all of that feedback, that negative feedback, is going to get buried. And pretty quick, they're going to be up to 98, 99%. You're not even going to think about it, right? You're not going to think about looking at their feedback. It looks like they're doing just fine. When they're not, they're just doing so much volume that they're going to bury the negatives. All right, mail has been dropped off now. So finishing just the thought, yeah, they're watering down the value of positive feedback while at the same time helping maybe not great, I don't want to say bad resellers, but maybe not so great resellers, especially those doing high volume, to sort of hide under that generic feedback. And that's bad too, that it's just generic feedback. You still get those now, that say A plus, or you get the thumbs up emoji, or good seller, or whatever. But you also get very detailed messages saying, hey, this product was better than I thought it was going to be. It's fantastic. If customers tend to look at your feedback, they're going to see all the things that you do right. Typically, my customers that leave feedback that are detailed talk about, hey, it was shipped lightning fast. It was very well protected, and it was better than described. Those are sort of the three things that I try to do. And those are three things that are highlighted. And so when somebody's going, well, should I buy from this guy or not? They see all those things, and yeah, it sounds like this guy's a good seller, right? What happens when they log in? It's item arrived on time, item arrived on time, item arrived on time. All of that is going to get buried as well. So people that try to look at feedback, for those that do, it's going to be worthless to them. I think also what's going to happen is what eBay said is, hey, if the buyer then reports an issue, or if they want to return the item, whatever, we'll take off that feedback. Or if they want to leave their own, we'll take off that auto feedback. Well, what happens as a customer when you say, hey, don't worry, we left positive feedback for the person you bought this from? And they're like, I don't know. Like right now, you're going to have customers that you sold something to, and they were maybe unhappy with it, or maybe not thrilled with it, but it's fine, right? It wasn't worth their time, or it was okay enough, whatever. But now if that same customer sees, hey, we're going to leave a positive feedback for this person, maybe they're going, I don't want a positive feedback left for that person for this purchase because it wasn't great. Now they're going to get in there and leave their neutral, or leave potentially their negative feedback. I think it's going to push more buyers to leave feedback, which I think ostensibly that's what eBay's trying to do, is get more feedback left, right, by real human people. That's going to happen. I don't think you necessarily want that. Right now, a lot of times when people say, should I ask for feedback? Should I send a note asking for feedback? No. The fact that you got none, there's the thumb. I know I do this with my thumb and it bends back. I don't know why I do that. Straight up, right? The fact that they left no feedback is by default good feedback, right? Because it's not a negative. I think we're going to see more negative feedback being left. I really do. And something else that they announced sort of alongside this is, hey, if there's mixed feedback, like right now somebody says, this item was junk and the post office took forever to get this to me. Just grabbing something out of the air. I can get a hold of eBay and talk to them on Facebook. By the time they reply to me, probably within about 15 minutes, that feedback's going to be gone, because eBay is going to go, well, you sent it out on time. You don't have any control over how long it took to get there. That's out of your control. Yeah, that's not a valid reason. And they wipe the whole thing, right? That's not what they're going to do now. They are going to wipe out the part of that was not worthwhile, right? They're going to get rid of, it took forever for this to get there. But they're going to leave the rest of it, and they're going to leave that. So it's still going to be negative, and it's just going to say this item was junk. So it's going to be harder for us to get feedback removed. They're going to remove the part of it that goes against policy, I guess, is the easiest way to say it. But if there's other parts where they say, well, that's the customer experience, sorry, they're going to leave that on there. So we're going to have more negative feedbacks for us left. But congratulations, it's going to get buried under worthless auto positive feedback. So that's my thought on it. Maybe it's going against the grain of what others think on this thing. I think overall, it's not a good thing. The feedback thing, frustrating that it's not left by more people, but you know what? It's not broke, so let's not fix it. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Am I wrong? Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm wrong a lot. Well, I don't know if I'm wrong a lot. I am occasionally maybe misguided. We'll go with that. So that done, I guess time to send it to me of the past. We talked about showing some day in the life type stuff. Well, this weekend I smoked some meat. So let's check that out if you want. I have to go in. I'm sitting outside. I have to go in and pick up a couple of pork butts. I am for our church. They've had me for the last, I don't know, we're maybe at like 5 years now. We have an event where folks get baptized and then we have food, right? It depends on who you talk to. It's dunk and dine or dine and dunk. Dine and dunk flows off the tongue better. I like that. And so I am one of the pit masters for this thing. I got to go pick up a couple of pork butts. We're going to smoke those tomorrow. That'll be pretty much my day. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
What can I do for you?
I am here to pick up a couple of butts.
Oh, you know what everyone else. Troy.
Yep.
You're the only one left with two. Yeah, you start complaining, then I'd start complaining.
All right, here's one of the two finished trimming. I actually took off the fat cap that's up here. You can see I'm saving it. We're going to render this down in case we need it later. But yeah, trimmed all the little bits and pieces that are hanging off, and then trimmed most of the fat cap. I know some people like to leave it on there, but I'm smoking this thing, and smoke will not permeate through that thick layer of fat, and I want the smoke to flavor the meat. So we took the fat cap off there. There's enough intramuscular fat in there to keep this thing moist, and that's what my smoker does, is help keep it moist anyway. So not really a concern now. I did also have to use some kitchen twine and tie this thing together. Generally I use bone in, but the ones they had available for us, the bone was removed. It was bone out butts, and so it kind of comes apart. So twine it together, hold it together so it doesn't come open and overcook. This actually works very well. Put a little bit of it on there, and that'll hold the seasonings. All right, so this is just one side, but this is pretty much what I want it to look like. I know it looks maybe like a lot, but this is like 9 pounds probably of meat. So how much seasoning does it take to flavor 9 pounds of meat, right? So this is about what I wanted at. We're gonna get it flipped over, get it on the other side, get it on the edges, and then we're gonna let it sit for a little bit. Once it starts sweating, then we know it's ready, and then we're gonna put it on the smoker. Which is a little hot right now, 250. We want this thing to go 225 to 250, but when we put a couple of chunks of meat on there, it is going to drop the temperature, so we're probably okay. And there we go, guys. They are on. We're gonna close this lid, and it's gonna sit there pretty much untouched for about the next 3 hours. All right, so 3 hours later, reflection, we're sitting at about 225, which I'm really happy with. And look at that. Having a hard time getting a focus there, but that's looking fantastic. We got cherry wood in there, and yeah, I love this. We could just wrap it right now and let it go, but I'm actually going to add a little flavor in here. We're going to throw some honey on the top, along with some brown sugar and a little bit of butter. All right, there she is, all honey sugared buttered up. And we're gonna wrap this thing. We're gonna do the same thing to its little brother, and then we're gonna get them back on a smoker, and it's gonna sit there. We pulled it off at 165 internal temperature. This thing needs to get to between 200 and 205, so it's still got a bit left. Our pork internal temperature 203, at least the one that I have the probe in. We'll put it in the other one and check. 203 is exactly the temperature we want to pull it out. We're fixing to pull these off, and you know what? They're not done yet. We're gonna go ahead and put them in a pan and put those in my oven. It's not on. We'll put them in the oven, and they're going to sit there and hold for about 2 hours still. We're gonna be up. It's already 1 in the morning. All right, check this out, guys. I put it in the other one, and it's at 187. It's the smaller of the two. So, I mean, goes to show you the meat is done when it's done. They all cook at different temperatures, or well, at different times, not temperatures. They cook at different times. The meat just does what it does. So this second butt, it's probably still got at least another hour. Time to let them cool, which means another hour before we can start pulling these. It's gonna be pretty warm in here. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, there's still a lot of heat coming out of here, but look at all that juice. Oh, guys, come on. Yeah. All right, it's been about a half hour. We're gonna call that good enough. I need to get this thing happening. But see that little pink on the inside there? I had to sample, right? But we got some smoke pretty far in there, so I'm pretty happy about that. This guy, same deal. That pink in there is from the smoke getting inside the meat. So now we're going to pull out my bear claws. These are the best thing in the world. All right, yo, that shredded up so easily. It's so tender, and with those bear claws, made quick work of it. It's getting harder to put sentences together. I've got the juice that came off of those, quite a bit. We're gonna add some of that in here. That's all liquid gold. That's flavor. Gold, Jerry, it's gold. I'm gonna put a little bit of sauce on there, not much, just a little bit of a finishing sauce. I've got like a raspberry chipotle sauce that we're gonna put in there. I think it'll play well with the cherry smoke. So yeah, real happy with it, guys. Yeah, there we go, guys. It turned out so good. Let's get in there on it. Here we go. Yeah, fantastic. A little bit of sweet on the front end, the chipotle following at the back of your tongue. Whew, I'm good at this. Guys, that's what I got for you today. Thank you for hanging out with us. The first new sort of hybrid, doing a little bit of reselling, a little bit of life stuff in here. So yeah, I hope you liked it. Give us a thumbs up. That helps out the channel a lot. Leaving comments helps us out a ton, that sort of thing. And if you've not, go ahead and subscribe. Would appreciate that. Free for you, helps us. You know, it's a win-win.